Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this new YouTube video where we'll talk about a very, very important topic, and that is money. I love to talk about money. Why? Because money is the shit. And I know out there people don't like to talk about money. I was brought up in a very bad manner when it comes to, or I had like very bad beliefs when it comes to money. And today we'll talk about this topic. So, what is money? Why is money important? How to acquire money, what you should focus on when it comes to money. So first of all, what I want to talk about when it comes to money is that, money at the end of the day is nothing. Okay, it is everything, but is nothing. So first of all, when we talk about money, you will have to acknowledge that money is one of the most important thing in this world. Why? Because money gives you a lot. It gives you opportunity. It gives you a better lifestyle. It can give you a lot, but it also can take a lot or not take a lot, but it can give you a lot, create a lot, but also destroy a lot. It depends on who has it in their hands, right? So I believe that money is just an amplifier. So if you are an asshole and you have money, you are an asshole with money. And that's a cliche. Many people already talked about it, but especially money in good hands can change the world. Money in bad hands can definitely destroy it. So making money and having a lot of money, or basically having a lot of money, does not mean you know how to manage money. So when it comes to money, also very important is to learn the habits about money, what money is, how money works, how to save money, how to multiply money, because just making a lot of money will never cure your problems. And that's just the beginning that I want to talk about. But let's stay with money for a second. Okay, so I was brought up with a very bad mindset about money, right? Money was the root of all evil. Maybe you heard about that. I thought money is really the root of all evil. Every problem that we had in our family, excuse me, all the tears, all the crying, all the bullshit, all the fights, all the blah 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 bullshit, right? Especially in between my parents, happened because of money, because of the lack of money, right? So money is not important for many people. I would say it's important for a lot of people, but it's not that important for a lot of people. But money becomes very important when you need it, right? Money is like air. Like you're not concerned if you have it, but if you don't have it, like you cannot, it is a difficult thing. So money is the thing we need to talk about, guys. That's why we do this podcast. I love the topic about money. I dedicated myself the last 5-7 years to understand money, because I knew I grew up in a very unhealthy environment when it comes to money, right? I saw people struggling. I saw people, doing stupid shit because of money. I heard stories. I saw, and all that came to a point when I became 15, 16, and I turned I would say I turned into the man of the house, since, most of you don't know it. Some of you might not know it, so I'm just gonna say it. I was brought up in a single mom household with my sister. So my mom worked 3 jobs, 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours basically, to make money so we can survive. I'm not gonna say, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say that we had a hard time, but we also had a hard time when it comes to money, right? So it was not bad, but it was also not good. So it was somewhere in between, and I saw a lot of shit. Let's put it like this, okay? I saw that the root of money can go very deep and destroy people's life. It can go into depression. It can go into alcohol abuse and whatever. So I still remember that $500 would have changed the life of my mother. And that's why I started to do business. That's why I became an entrepreneur, because I wanted to add this extra 500 so my mom can go off the government support that we got. Because government support also means if I am gonna make money in a job, they're gonna take it from my mom again, right? So I experienced all of that. So I started my entrepreneurship. I don't want to say I started my entrepreneurship only because of my mom, but it was a big reason, like the lack of money and seeing my mom and knowing that an extra $500 would change our life, and me wanting to have a different lifestyle and never have the problem of not having shit. This is how I started to think about money, right? So I come from a negative place where it goes, or negative place around money, into a place where I understood that at the end of the day, a rich person and a poor person, there's no different but the mindset, right? So I understood that the information that rich people have and rich people pass on to their families is just a different information. It's a different quality of information. So I understood I have to inform myself. And how do you do it? With books, right? Books, YouTube videos, mentors. Back then, especially books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Think and Grow Rich, just some titles that changed my life when it comes to money. And a little disclaimer, I'm not a pro on money, right? I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I finna be 100%. But from where I come from until where I'm now, where I make in between 30 to 60K a month USD with my businesses, and making good amounts of money in my age and fulfilling a lot of dreams and you know, supporting my family financially and being able to send my mom money and, you know, just being someone that is not only because of the money, like we are focusing a lot on the money, but see, money, if you obtain a lot of money, if you earn a lot of money, most likely you have a very good personality. Like you had to grow into someone that attracts a lot of money, right? Not always, but most of the times. And I'm even more proud of my personality that makes that amount of money and will even make more than actually having the money, right? Because a lot of money with a bad mindset, with, you know, makes no sense. And then there's this, and let's talk about that for a second, and then we go into the topics that's like more like a chit talk, like more like a intro, is that many people say like it's better to cry in a Lamborghini than, you know, like cry in a Fiat or whatever, like when they talk about money. And it's actually true, right? Like, but if you sit in a Lamborghini and you're crying, then there's fundamentally something wrong in your life. So it is a stupid way of saying that, right? So let's not focus on that. But yes, money is good, and you will have to start to believe and delete all the bad information that the society, your parents, the school, and all of these people that impacted you while you were growing up when it comes to money gave you. You have to delete this information. You have to reprogram yourself and give your mind some good information. I will give you an example. I still remember where we were standing at a grocery store at the cashier, and my mom put her card in and it said declined, and then again and it said declined, and again it said declined, and then it said insufficient funds. So there was no money on, right? And I was standing there and I was very, very embarrassed. You know, I was not embarrassed of my mom. I was just embarrassed of the situation, you know, and I swear to God that will never, ever happen to me again. Now, that's, you know, if you have money, it is just easier. You can do a lot of cool stuff, you know, especially when it comes to lifestyle. You can travel, you can enjoy, you can go whenever you want. It just takes a lot of pressure off of your mind and body to have money, especially also when it comes to health, right? I, for example, live in Dubai. I had some health issues where to, not issues, but I just had to go to the dog, do some checks out, blah, blah, blah. I had a little infection, you know, bam, 5K. 5K. Like, if you don't have this 5K extra just to just pay that shit, like, you're gonna be fucked. And I know most of you guys watching, you know, most of my followers, they come from social countries or socialistic countries like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, where the system, healthcare system is very good. I'm not saying it's not good in Dubai, just a different thing, right? You first pay the stuff, and I'm probably getting the money back, right? But still, you have to be able to put that money up front, okay? So money, just small examples, right? That's also a lot of other stuff like just comfort, the lifestyle, the cars, all the shit that is important. And I'm very different to these financial YouTubers. Why? Because I will tell you spend money. I'm gonna tell you that while making money, spend a lot of money. I'm gonna tell you that sometimes you will have to put a lot of money at risk to make a lot of. Like I did it with Bitcoin in 2020 when COVID hit. That's where I made most of my money investing back then. I invested somewhere in between 15K, made a little bit more than 100K with different coins and trading it and blah, blah, blah. You know, sold 50% of it, rebought it 50%, made another a good amount of money. Moving to Dubai, about 50 to 60K was purely paid with profits, right? From investing and trading and all that kind of stuff. And that was just one of the portfolios that I mentioned. And, you know, I seeing from where I come from, let's put it like this, like for someone 100K or a little bit more than that, or 200K or 250K, or making, 300 to 500K a year is not a lot, but for me, it is a lot, right? I'm 26 now. At 21, 22, I was living off 50 euro, 25 euro pocket money that my mom gave me while I was going to school, studying, trying to get good grades to qualify for law school, right? Yes, I had jobs, but I always used the money directly to pay off shit or to pay off stuff that I needed to buy. Is it like, for example, a license, car license, a scooter license back then, or clothes or stuff like that, right? So I just paid my own shit. So all on top of that, the rest of the money came from my mom, right? And now seeing and which opportunity and which opportunities I have these days, I'm just very, very blessed and thankful. And I truly know that money changed my life. But enough of the chit chat. Let's focus on money rules. I jump on these YouTube videos, and many of you guys know that that's just my style. I'm not gonna prepare a lot. I'm not gonna, have a fixed schedule and a fixed things that I want to talk about. It's just like, I believe you're gonna have a lot of value out of that, because I truly speak always from my heart, and I cannot do that when I plan everything, right? So let's talk a little bit about money in general, right? So we basically already did, but when it comes to money in general, it's a good thing. It definitely helps, right? You should always be in a position where you like money. You have to have good habits when it comes to money. And some poor examples that I had in my mindset is like, as I said, going shopping, for example, seeing stuff and then having the habit of, okay, I cannot afford it, right? My mom many times said, we cannot afford it. Don't think about it. It's not for us. It's not for you. It's for the rich, right? And every time I ask people about money or how to invest or how stocks work, they always said, oh, it's for the rich people, right? That's like a stupid coping mechanism, stupid excuse to say, oh, that's only for the rich people, right? And at the end of the day that that's stupid, right? And I understood that, so I knew I need better information from very successful people. And as I said, I started a lot with learning a lot about finance through books. Then I started my network marketing career. As you guys might know, I'm a professional network marketer, investor, trader, speaker, and I learned a lot by joining a company in network marketing, affiliate marketing that focuses on financial education, automation, trading, investing, cryptocurrencies, and that's where I learned 95% out of my skill when it comes to money, right? So the skill of making more money or getting more money, because actually there is no making more money. Making more money is illegal. You cannot print money, so it's always getting money, right? And then just some things that I learned about money where I always take notes, and I'm gonna read from that because I have a habit. It's called Gold Nugget List. It's a list on my iPhone on notes where I write down all the books, the information, the sentences, everything that, changed my mind, and I'm gonna read out of this in a second for you guys so we can go through some money habits, some good money information that you need to implement in your life. But yeah, how to think about money. Okay, let's talk about that. We talked about money in general. We talked a little bit about my story, how I got there, and how my belief in terms of money changed. But when it comes to money beliefs and habits, or basically how to think about money, you will have to think positive. You can, definitely, you have to see it as something positive or you will never have a lot, right? Then also another very important habit is not to close down your mindset and say, I cannot afford it, by asking yourself, how can I afford it, right? Nowadays, if I want to buy something that is more, the price is just higher price tag, I just think of, where do I need to invest? What do I need to do to get this money? So I become very aware, and I don't spend a lot of money on bullshit, but I spend a lot of money on lifestyle and experience, but I don't spend a lot of money on bullshit, right? I'm not like so much into designer clothes. I spend a lot of money back into my business. Like I would say more than 50% for sure, even more goes back into my business to grow it, in terms of my setup, in terms of my experience, in terms of, people helping us with videographers, flyers. The whole marketing thing is outsourced. We pay a lot of money, or I pay a lot of money for that. So insane amounts of money that I spent, where some people would say that it's stupid, if you would save a little more and invest a little more. But the thing is, I want to live my life now, right? Moving to Dubai was a financial risk, putting 60K out of the 250K or 300K, more like 250, 300K that I made last year, to put it into Dubai is for some people insane stupid, but I saw so much benefit of it. I saw the new contacts, I saw the new people, the how you can market it, right? It was always a big dream for me. So I'm a very big fan of, when you think, because we are talking about how to think about money, I think of money as an energy, and energy can never be still. It's not possible. We cannot destroy or create energy. Energy always has to flow. So if you put money on a bank account, I don't have shit on my bank account. A couple of K, a couple of K here, some, different bank accounts, but most of my money is invested or is stuck somewhere where it makes me more money, or I put it into someone's pocket that is going to help me to even make more money by them giving me value in terms of what promotes my business, so I even make more, So I believe money has to flow. And I also believe that every dollar I spend, it comes back to me doubled. Okay, that's another belief that I implemented in my life over the last years. I heard that somewhere in the millionaire book or whatever it was, and he said every time you spend money, it comes back double. And that's my belief. Every time I spend money, it comes back doubled, right? So you have to, and there's a lot of other habits and a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about later, but you will have to change your habits, and you have to change it like a normal habit too. If you want to do sports, if you want to go to the gym, running, if you want to have, the habit of losing weight, whatever it is, it's the same thing with money. It is like you have to implement it, you have to do it over and over again, you have to do it consciously until it gets, or it becomes subconsciously, right? And then it's implemented in your life. And reality is, and that's a very important thing when it comes to money, if you never had any money, there is no one that's put a curse on you. It's not God, it's not it's no one that will determine how much money you make but you yourself, and it doesn't matter where you come from, right? There's this saying that I really like. It's like a cliche saying on Instagram with all this success bullshit, but basically it says like, you chose not to come from a, you chose not or you have, how do I say it, you did not choose to be born into a poor family, but you choose to die poor. And that's 100% true, 100% true, right? And that's the most beautiful thing, is like actually getting the money. And I believe it's the most beautiful thing to be born poor. I don't want to say poor, right? I was still, I was born in Africa, but then from, beginning of 5 years, I grew up in Europe, and that's far from poor. It's more like, it's a different poor, right? It's like a depressed poor. It's like the working class poor. But I know what poor is. I've seen it, right? So I don't want to say poor. And some of you guys think like, what is this guy talking about? Like growing up in Europe and being secure. And that's all true. Like we had all the safety. We were secure. No wars, no bullshit. We had work. And I truly acknowledge that, but still we didn't have shit, right? Like most of the families out there, we were struggling from paycheck to paycheck. The months had too much days left, and money. So I'm just giving you the example so you understand that I come from a humble place. I'm not putting myself in a position where I say we were poor, but I guess you know what I mean. Okay, so. Yeah, how to think about money. It comes back to me double, right? When I spend it, it's definitely a positive thing. I know that it's energy and it has to move around. I still remember when I was sitting with my uncle, and he's the only multi-millionaire in my family. And I still remember he was sitting with me in Africa when I visited him. He invited me in 2018 to Cape Town. He has like 3 $1 million penthouses next to each other in the Black Orange Hotel mid Cape Town. Beautiful. You see the Table Mountain, all that shit. It's crazy. And I still remember I was sitting with him on his horse ranch or farm, however you want to call it. He was sitting there smoking a cigar and drinking an espresso, however you want to say it. Hopefully no Italian guy is going to kill me now. And he was just looking around, and I saw that something was bothering him, but he was like really focused on thinking of something. And I asked him like, what are you thinking about? And he said like, I'm thinking about money. I have a lot of money sitting around, and I don't like that. It has to move, right? And I'm like taking notes, I didn't understand shit, but I'm like, okay, money has to move. Like back then I didn't understand shit, but now I understand what he means, right? So that was one of my biggest learnings. And then also more important things when you think about money is, have a good relationship to money. See it as a person. If you're going to have a very good, positive relationship with someone, it's always gonna come back. Like it's karma. It is like the law of frequency, the law of the mind, the law of thinking positive, however you want to call it, right? The secret, all that kind of stuff. And it's true. How you think about money, it will resonate, it will come back. And so you will have to develop by deleting the old information and putting a lot of new information, by joining, for example, us, by reading good books about that, following some very cool people out there and learning from them, like Iman Gadzhi, for example, Andrew Tate, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Think and Grow Rich, especially the book is crazy. And there's so many good books and so many good mentors about money. I'm just, some that are at the top of my mind that I want to talk about. But yeah, so the next step I want to talk about is, how to get money. Because as I just said, money is not made, you cannot make money, that's illegal, right? You're going to end up in prison. And I think Grant Cardone said that, another person that you can learn from, But he said basically how to get money, or basically you have to get money. And how do you get money? The easiest way to explain is by the value that you provide. The value that you provide into the marketplace is how much money someone is gonna, or the economy is gonna throw back at you. The more value you provide, and also the more attention you have, because now we changed a little bit into an attention based society economy, and you can use this attention to monetize it. So I would say value plus attention, or attention plus value, right? You need attention, you need to go out there, and then you need to provide value, will be your net worth, or basically the money that you make, okay? So when you think about value, ask yourself the question, what can you do that provides value? Like, let's say you can go and do a 9-to-5 job, and I don't hate on jobs, right? Like, I was always very, very grateful when I had a job. I was grateful when my mom had a job, right? Because not having a job catastrophic events for us, right? So I don't hate on jobs, and if you are happy, you're happy, like don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on you, I'm not shitting on people that are happy doing their jobs, but most people are not, right? So to go back to that, doing a job or being on a job basically means, let's say you work for a restaurant, okay, and you serve the drinks, the food, all that kind of stuff, you get a little tip. That's the value that you want to provide for the market. Are there a lot of people that can do that? Yes. Are you easily replaced? Most likely yes, right? So the more people, the more quantity of the same skill and value that is provided, the less the money that you make, right? And the rare, if your skill is rare and what you can do and how easy you are replaceable, that's another very important indicator to how much money you're gonna make. How easy are you replaceable? So it's attention, it's value, it's how easy are you replaceable? How easy is it to replace someone that works for a restaurant? There are a lot of people, right, that are easily replaced. Now, what can change that? It can be your character. Right? If you are someone that brings so much vibe into the restaurant, if you are someone that, especially people only come because of you, because of your charisma, whatever, it will be harder for the chef or the boss of the restaurant to replace you, because he knows that if he's going to replace you or pay you bad or treat you bad, you're going to leave the restaurant. And with it, people won't come anymore. With it, people will be, not fucked up that you are not working there anymore at the end of the day, right? You can take customers at the end of the day. So, just think of these three important aspects of when it comes to make money. There are many more, but that I don't intend to do like a 3-hour money mastermind. It's just like an overview if you are getting into the topic of money. And one of the most important things, or some of the most important things that I came across in the last couple of years while being a student of money, right? So it's value, it's attention, and it's how easy you're replaceable. I am very hard to replace. It's very hard to replace me as a leader, for example, leading a very large organization with a lot of turnover, like yearly turnover over 5 million last year. And if they replace me, they're going to lose some people. If they replace me, some things are going to go wrong, right? So that's just when it comes to the replacing thing. And most people for most jobs are very easily replaceable, right? So you will have to work on your uniqueness. So you have to work on how to become better than other people, how to become above average, right? And that's by educating yourself. That's by you can follow the normal system, but above that, beyond that, you will have to go, right? Because if everyone has the same education, everyone goes to the same school, most likely they will provide the same value, have the same attention, and will be as easily replaced as everyone else that went through the same academical course or took the same academic course in you. But if you are the guy that sits at home at night after attending university and all the trainings, and you're still learning more to obtain more and more and more and more skill, then at an interview you're gonna win because you just have more skill. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. So focus on these three things if you want to get more money. And the easiest way, I would say, and that's how I became a multiple 6-figure earner, is social media. It is on social media platforms. These days it is on the internet, right? Because a very big benefit of being on the internet is it's easy scalable. It is very cheap to start, right? There's not a lot of fix and risk involved. The only thing that I have to pay for my business a month is $179. That's it, right? That's it. Yes, it's way more because I added way more, but I could just sit with a laptop at a Starbucks or wherever, and that's it, right? And I pay my $179. I could live in a very cheap hotel. I could move to Bali or whatever, but I never did that. And we're going to talk about that why too in a second, why a lot of people stop to make a lot of money, and why I know that I'm on a very good way to become a millionaire and a multi-millionaire, and my end goal is $100 million. That's just like the mark that I put. That's just what I want to do. And a lot of reasons for that, and that's the next topic I want to talk about, is to finish the other one. It's not about making money, because you cannot make money. It's about getting money. And if you want to get something, you will have to ask yourself, what do you provide? And we talked about value, attention, and how easy you are replaceable. Okay. Now to move further and talk about some mistakes people do that I've seen, that I've done myself when they start to make money. Because, you will think that if you start to make money, everything is solved. I thought back then, if I just would earn more money, everything would be solved. But that's not true. The more money you actually make, I would say the harder it is to keep it, the harder and the more headaches you will get around money. There are different headaches, right? But they are headaches. For example, banks, taxes, where do you park your money? Where is it safe? So asset protection is also, like, Google it, asset protection, a very important thing as soon as you start to make money, which country, inflation, which bank, one bank or many bank accounts, right? Crypto, yes or no? Stocks, yes or no? How much should I invest? Where should I invest? How risky should I, become as an investor? How do I save myself from scammers and all that bullshit? And I got scammed. Like, the highest that I got scammed for is 50K, and it's insane, right? But I learned in that situation that I don't really care about it anymore, because my mindset is just so far that I detached myself from money emotionally. And I'm not like, back then, if I had like a low money balance, I was like very emotional. I couldn't sleep. I was feeling very bad, but I completely detached emotionally from money. I don't want to say completely, it's never possible, but definitely more than most people. I can take a lot of more stress when it comes to money, dealing with a lot of money, because even in my business, a lot of money goes in, a lot of money goes out, a lot of people have to be paid, a lot of good decisions have to be made, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, to come to a point here, on the point that we just started to open up about, about money in general and about some habits, it is first of all, and basically all the things we just talked about regarding money, it is a thing where you will understand what I mean one day, where you're gonna sit there and you're like, bro, now I have a lot of money, and I just don't know what to do with it. It's just not safe, because at the end of the day, asset protection is. We will do an extra we'll do an extra YouTube video on asset protection, right? Because that's a whole topic we have to tap into, and then I can tell you a little bit about the story how I got scammed for 50K. It was not really a scam. It was like it's also currently at the lawyer, so the lawyer's taking care of it, But whatever, I will talk about it, right? So. Very important is that money is not the solution, okay? Your mindset always is your personality, the person that you become to make that money. I started back then, and I always wanted to become a millionaire. I still want to become a millionaire, since I'm not yet one, but I'm 100%, I am already one, it's already done. It's just like, in my reality, it's already done. Time will, just tell when it's definitely in our reality. But in there you see the mindset that you have to have with money. But at the end of the day, I always thought to become a millionaire is the ultimate goal. And then I thought of how cool would it be if I make millionaires, if I create millionaires, like I created, and I don't want to say but we created a lot of six-figure earners in the last couple of months and years in our business, right? And multiple six-figure earners. And then I thought how cool it would be to create millionaires. Like if someone would say, hey, that's not Miguel the billionaire. Hey, that's Miguel. He created millionaires, 20 millionaires, 30 millionaires, 50 millionaires. And then I thought of how cool would it be if I can say no to $1 million because it just does not sit good with me emotionally, morally, and ethically. How cool would it be if you are someone that can say no to $1 million that someone wants to hand you, but it does not vibe with you. It's just not what you would do, right? Many people would sell their soul, their whole entire life and everything at the end of the day to make money or basically to get $1 million. But I want to become someone that can say, that's not what I want to do to make another $1 million, right? So that is my ultimate goal, and that's how I think about money currently. And when you want to make all of this money, to finally finish the point, because I'm going a little bit into different directions right now, but it will all make sense, is that if you make money, think of asset protection. We will do an extra YouTube video for that. I just decided that, it will be easier. And think of never put all your money into one position, like never put all your money into one basket, right? Try to have different bank accounts, try to have different crypto exchanges and keys, try to have different brokers and where you hold. Just always diversify, never put it on one platform, because that actually led to a very big problem that I once had when it comes to money. But I also knew that money comes and goes, right? If it goes, it has to teach me something. If it comes back, I learned it, and it always comes back doubled, right? So think about that. Now, at the end of the day, to give you a very slow guide on how the steps are when it comes to money, it is first, you will have to start to change how you think about money. You will have to be someone that thinks about, like, no one will make a lot of money if he does not think about money positively, if he doesn't think like, I want to make more money, I want to make this amount of money, right? So it first has to start with your mind and with yourself. You will have to be in a different frequency if you start to think about money. And I was always like that, right? Even my uncle was telling me, I was running around as an 11, 12-year kid with him in Portugal and talking about money and rich and this, and I was always like that. I always was famoused by money. It was a phenomenon for me, rich and this lifestyle, and I was, it was always something that caught my attention. So you have to be like this, I believe you have to be like this too. Because if you don't think about it, like, you will maybe end up making good amounts of money. But I mean, like, the goal of multi-millionaire, 100 million, like, you don't have to have this goal, but that's always what I had. So I believe step number one is you have to change how you think about money. You have to acknowledge and, examine the problem that you created in your own mind, or basically other people plugged into your mind, the matrix, social media, your family, school, society, because society gives you a very bad view of money. I mean, if you just check out Simpsons or all the stuff that you watch as a small kid, all the comics, all this kind of stuff, like Donald Duck, the Simpsons. If you go into SpongeBob SquareBob, whatever this motherfucker's called, the character that has the most money is always the most miserable one. It's always the asshole, right? It is Mr. Burns or whatever he's called in the Simpsons. It is Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob. It is in Donald Duck, it's like the older duck, right? They're all so filthy rich, but they also have a very bad character. They are assholes, they're miserable, they are bad people, right? And that's the mindset that you get as a kid, right? Just imagine how perverse this actually is, that this matrix implements these thoughts about being rich into you when you are a kid and you don't even choose it, right? So you will have to combat that. You have to change your mind. After changing your mind, you have to find a good vehicle. You have to try a lot of stuff. You don't have to try a lot of stuff, but you have to try out some stuff where you see a lot of potential. Most likely, if it's into the social media region kind of style, it will have a lot of potential. And then also it has to be unlimitless. Like there should be no limit, right? A job has a limit. You can only work 24 hours max. No one has 5 hours, right? So if someone pays you at an hour rate, you cannot outsmart the system. There's no leverage. There's a cap, right? There's a lid. You cannot go over it. So you will have to find something where you don't have one. I chose network marketing. I love network marketing because it's a very low cost entry. It's no risk. You get mentorship for free. You can follow the best people. You will be connected to a lot of people. You will learn in a lot of different aspects, not only money, because at the end of the day, only having money is not good. If you by luck made a lot of money, or if you make money in general and you don't have friends, you don't have people that are like-minded, you haven't found someone, you don't have mentors, you don't have people to spend it, like, makes no sense, bro. Like, I don't know, it's not fun to drive around in a Lamborghini or whatever without, having anyone. I do that kind of stuff because I love to do it with my family. Like I like the feeling to have my family in a Lamborghini Urus. As I cannot afford it right now. I could, no, it depends, okay? Let's say like I rented it, right? And that's another thing that a lot of people will say, don't do that, like yes, do it. Like, get yourself around, and that's one of my biggest advice, get yourself around stuff and cars and materialistic stuff that only very rich people can afford, even if you can just rent it out for a couple of hours or days. I would always do that because it changes your comfort. You will have to see and feel if you want something. And it's easier to manifest and get something into your life if you had it in your hands, if you can see it clearly, if you know how it feels. And you will never go back to driving a Fiat if you drove a Lamborghini Urus for a couple of days, and you will be happy. And that's good because you will have to have this blissful dissatisfaction. Means you should not be unhumble. You should not be someone that is not grateful and thankful, because out of negativity, there will never come positivity. So you cannot sit in a car and be negative and say, that's a shit car, that's a shit car. You will have to be happy that you have this car, but you have to be grateful to have the car, but not happy to have the car, right? So blissful dissatisfaction is how it's called. So you are thankful, but you are not you are not okay with it. Okay, it's something that you acknowledge that I'm thankful that I have a car, that I have a house, that I have water, that I have heating, that I have clothes, but it's not the quality of clothes and cars and lifestyle and housing that I want. It's more, right? But I'm blissful, dissatisfied, right? So I'm not satisfied with what I have. I want more, but still I'm grateful and thankful. So that's another very big advice that changed my life, right? To turn into a multiple six-figure earner, someone that has good amounts of money, a very good lifestyle. And as I said, I'm not someone that spends a lot of money on clothes and stuff like that. I'm more like on the lifestyle thing, living in Dubai, traveling a lot, because that's where you make the most experiences, reinvesting a lot of money, giving my family money when they need it and help and whatever, and then paying my mom money is like one of the most beautiful things that I can do with the money, so my mom can just live a more comfortable life, or at the end of the day decide if she wants to work or not. Same with my girlfriend, right? Currently she wasn't working, now she's working again, but she can decide. I told her, like, you decide. If you want to do it, you do it. If not, there's no problem. And I just love to be in this position. And at the end of the day, we want to go over to some of the money points and habits that I have on my phone, on my gold nugget list, and we will just go through them. I will just read them out. Again, that's where I take my notes. That's what I learned about money. The first thing, I will just read it out and then fast go over it. What I mean by that: money, muscle, game. That's how you focus. That's a priority list of a young man. First you focus on money, then you focus on the gains and muscle and the minds, and then you focus on the game in general, the game of dating, game of communication, game of all the important stuff in building networks, and the game basically means your lifestyle. Okay, so the next thing is you got more week than money, right? That's what I had back then. I had more weeks, I had more days than money, so I changed it. If this money stops, what do you have? That's another very important question that I wrote down. If money stops, ask yourself the question: if your money stops now, what do you have? Right? Do you have investments? Because a lot of people make a lot of money, but they actually don't have money. And if you stop the income today, they are basically fucked and poor at the end of the next day or next months. Okay. So God's currency is money. Beautiful. God's currency is money. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. Let's get it, baby. Facts. Money is an energy source of service. What I just talked about: value, attention, right? Service at the end of the day, value, providing something to the marketplace. Very good one. I wrote that somewhere at a time that I started to realize that once you start making money from your investments, it's hard to spend it because you view cash as an opportunity to build more, not as a voucher to waste. And that's true, but don't get caught up too much in it. Spend some money if you make a lot of money, because it will lead up to make more money. Because if you are smart, the money that you spend will make you more money. Right? So if you make money and you spend it on bullshit, most likely will not make you money. But if you make money and you move to Dubai, it will lead that you make more money, because the average of people that make money here is just insane. The concept, just the meetings that I had here changed my life, right? So all of it was worth it. Whoever moves the most tools into the market makes the most money. Again, providing service, providing value. Let me check. What else do we have? System saves yourself. So system stands for save yourself time, energy, money, right? It's true. So to make a lot of money, you will have to build systems, right? And that's what I mean by leveraging. Most businesses, most people that make a lot of money and have no lid, they use systems. I use a lot of systems in place to make money. So system means save yourself time, energy, and money. Money doesn't grow on tree. Paper is made from tree, so money grows on trees. Facts. Another disbelief that many people planted into you when you were growing up. 7%. Okay, that's more like network focused. How much money do you want in your bank account is something that you have to know, right? Ask yourself the questions. The detail. The more detailed you can go into it, the better. Don't ever feel bad for wanting money, right? Don't feel bad for making money. Don't feel bad for focusing on making a lot of money. Give a shit about what other people say. You can make money and take it back, but you can't take time back. Yep. So don't be a dork that puts all the money on the account just to feel that he has a lot of money, but spend your money on experience. Spend your money to meet cool people. Spend your money to, increase your lifestyle. And I said that back then in the here on the YouTube video is that a lot of people start to make money and then they start to move to Bali and whatever places where it's even cheaper. And I think it's a good idea, but I also think it's a very stupid idea. Why? Because another very big thing that I learned is cheap cheapens demand. If you go for the cheaper version just because it's easier, you will not unlock your full potential. So every decision I take is for more. I have to stretch. I don't have a car right now. My first car was a C43 AMG, brand new, leased. Cost me about 800 euros a month. Was very smart because I could deduct it from my taxes. So I had to choose in between paying taxes or basically, paying taxes or driving an AMG. So I drove the AMG, but I could not afford the car at the beginning. So I didn't have a car for at least when I turned 22, 23, 21, 22, 22, 23, yeah. And then I got the car. So I pushed myself. I could have got a Range Rover. I could have got a nice car, but I said, no, my first car will be an AMG. And now again, no, the second car I'm going to buy is a McLaren, right? A McLaren 600 LT. I could have gotten a very nice car in Dubai now. Lease, finance, buy one, easy. But I'm not going to do it. Why? I don't have a car because the next car is a McLaren. And I'm not going to choose a cheaper way, right? And that's the same thing with traveling and deciding where you live. Don't choose the cheaper one. Don't choose the easy way because it will cheapen and easy. It will cheapen you. Cheap cheapens demand. That's the only thing I have to say. If your only intention is to make money, you are not making money. That's another thing. Like many people say, okay, hunting money means you are hunting it, you're trying, like it's running from you, right? But you have to be like a farmer. You have to actually plant the seeds to then make money. And it's true, there's a middle thing. Like if everything is money, then it's not good, right? It's like you overconsumed in the topic of money. But if you just also find something that you love, and I'm not gonna say like all these stupid idiots on YouTube's gonna say like, yo, do what you love and turn your hobby into a business and you will not work another day. That's so crap. That's so bullshit. I hate that. It's not true, right? It will suck. It doesn't matter what you do, it will suck. If you do it every day, it will start to suck. Hobbies are nice because you can do them sometimes and you can choose when to do them, but a business is what you have to do every day. You cannot be inconsistent, 100%, right? And these are the basics. I don't want to talk about the basics. You should know that, like being consistent, we're not going to talk about it. So if your only attention all the time is only making money, then I believe you're not going to make a lot of money. If you're going to focus on the value, becoming a better person, having a mission and vision, you're going to end up making a lot of money, okay? Now, the next thing we have is, you are not after the money. Stop trying to be someone else or perfect. Who you are. Okay. Again, who you are. Work on yourself and money will come. Okay. Money is the root of all evil. We already talked about that. That's a big belief that I had. Money is the result of the value of offer to the marketplace. We just said that. Not the smartest people make the most money. True. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to have the highest IQ. You don't have to have a degree. It has nothing to do with the normal academical system that we live in. Has nothing to do with it. More meetings, more money. Yep. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. If it's not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty or I want plenty of money, be defined as to the amount, right? So when you talk about money, that's why I said I want to make 100 million, right? I don't know why, but I just want to make 100 million. It's just like, that's like, fuck your money. That's like where you can say fuck it to everything with 100 million, right? And I just want to have 100 million. I'm not saying I want to have a lot of money. I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire. Be as detailed as possible, okay? Be as detailed as possible. People work for money, but get, we talked about that. I guess that's it. I guess that's the most important notes that I took when it comes to money. There's a very good book, and I will Google it for you guys right now because I just forgot the name of the book. But it's a Japanese guy, author that talks about money, and it is called, was it The Japanese Art of Saving Money? No, it wasn't. Give me a second. I posted my book list, and I post the book list below this YouTube video. Like I read a lot of books and listened to a lot of audio books and stuff like that, and there's some very good stuff when it comes to money. And there's one book that I want to recommend you. after Think and Grow Rich and all of these important books. But one of them is called Happy Money from Ken Honda. Happy Money. I talked about the mindset when it comes to money. Read this book and you know what I mean. Let's get a lot of money, guys. Let's get it.